Hey, what's going on, guys? Gomegins here. I made a few minor updates since the since the 1.4 version release, basically. So just wanted to quickly highlight those updates for those interested. So without further ado, let's actually walk through them step by step. And probably the very first thing I would like you to pay attention to is this new latest tournament, WukongJS 1.4 version 1.4 versus TSCP. So just want to make sure. Yeah, this is it. So I had finally it actually beats TSCP. So obviously 100 games is not enough to say that this rating is absolutely accurate. But in the previous before the changes that I'm gonna be highlighting in this video, I had the result of -7 rating, rating of -7 L points for WukongJS. It was slightly bit weaker compared to TSCP, but now it seems to be like +21. If we say like +21 +7, it's around +28. Well, obviously that's still the margin of some probability of plus minus some L points. Well, sorry, I just don't know the scientific word how to call that one. If you don't play enough games, that there might be some error in the rating. But anyway, just visually, and when I was watching, well, not all the games obviously, but well, quite a bit of games from this tournament, it really it really started playing better. Just visually, it's seen even in seemingly lost positions, it manages to make a draw, and also it's winning those positions that seem to be a draw. Well, so just to give you an idea of how did I make this. Sorry, guys. How did I make this progress recently? This wasn't possible without the help of Pedro Castro, who helped me with my BBC chess engine in the past. So Pedro, if you're watching this video, thank you so much for helping me with hash move ordering, basically. So let's go to the source code, and here I just want to search for sort PV move. Yeah, this is it. So here is the updated function sort PV move, and I really want to say a few words regarding the what was different. So there wasn't. So this part, to be exact, this part was actually within this loop. So I was before this change, I was checking for a hash move only in the case if we were following the principal variation line. But Pedro kindly pointed out that this is kind of completely wrong approach, because hash move is kind of independent from the principal variation line, and if we already have a hash move, then we definitely want to order it first, because it's the best move ever possible there. And also he explained that in TSCP it's the chess engine where this kind of idea is taken from, basically. So in TSCP there is no transposition table or hash table, and that's the reason why following principal variation line is so crucial for the move ordering purposes. So here is the update. So I've separated the code from this part when we make sure that the follow PV flag equals to 1, which means that in particular we do follow the principal variation line. So every time when we have a hash move, we actually return it. If we don't have a hash move, though, another condition has been added. So if we have at very least the search ply equals to 1, so it won't fire in the root node, only in the ply 1 and bigger. So in this case, we just store in the PV move as principal variation move as we done before. Also, Pedro mentioned that in a stronger engines, assuming that obviously they all have the transposition tables, this part of code probably could have been dropped completely. But I didn't drop this for two reasons. So the first reason is because it's still used within the quiescent search, and we're still trying to sort the principal variation moves within the quiescence. So here we also call the sort PV move. But you may see that we don't actually store the hash moves in the regarding the questions. It's a bit arguable about whether we should store the hash moves, whether we should write to the hash table during the question search or not, because the questions really pollutes the hash table with lots of unnecessary values, and there were really lots of discussions at this topic. So first, for didactic purposes, I decided to keep this sort PV move, and secondly, just because it still may be used within the questions. Well, at very least, at my current noob's understanding of how this particular part of the move ordering works, I think it's literally enough to leave it like so. At very least, now it slices slightly bit more nodes in every position, literally. So it's the search is now slightly a bit more efficient. And even before, so there was another option that I did in order to improve the strength. Basically, I also rewritten the timing module as Pedro suggested. But even without that, Pedro ran a test when he was playing the two versions of WukongJS, the first version with the old sort PV move and the new version with this like. So this version scored better. If I could only find the particular commentary on that. If I could only find the particular commentary. Yeah, here it is. So Pedro is writing here. So I've tried to play 100 games between Wukong 1.4 alpha with his version, with this third moves as he has done this in his own chess engine Denisa. It seems that new sword is working. So it's this one. Hold on a sec. Okay, so this is it. So this is the new version. It scores plus 70, so 60%, and this one 41%. Well, it's not that huge difference in regards to plain versus TSCP, but still, it's quite pretty nice. So this new ordering seems to be much better. Also, here is the link for games for those interested. And the time control was 2 minutes plus 1 second increment. And also here he also mentioned that some games were lost on time twice, he says, right? Okay, so 8% of games lost in time, which is a lot. So he suggested this simple logic he does, and I really love how this works. Basically, I will now show the implementation and also quickly trying to explain how visually this is different from what it was before. It has a slight downside though, but still, generally for tournaments, it's much better. So I decided to keep this sort of an implementation in the new updated version of WukongJS version 1.4. So yeah, I think we don't really need this engine file anymore, and now let's drop back to uci.js file. So here within the timing, now it's much shorter and much more simple. No, hold on a sec, where does the parse go? Yeah, here it is. So in case if we're playing with the time control, in this case, so first for all the moves, we set in the lag only to 50 milliseconds. And you might wonder that even if WukongJS was losing with kind of 150, then how on earth it can be winning with this miserable one? But don't hurry that much. So we just set in this time lag here, and then we divide in this total time. So time minus the safety margin divided by moves to go. So by default, this is 30 moves to go. By the way, I've dropped back from 40 moves to go to 30 moves to go. So now it can search slightly deeper. And by the way, it helped me to improve the search depth, well, just in the matches versus TSCP. So now in some positions, WukongJS searches for 9 and even 10 in the middle game. Before it was only like 8 or 9, now it's even up to 10 in the end game, and goes even deeper. So with this, with taking slightly bit more time in the opening and in the middle game phase, it manages to just to find a better, just to get a better position because of a deeper search. While in the end game, if his position is good enough, the left time, even though it starts playing like a bullet, but still, even though it searches deeper than TSCP, even with a much less time control. I will not try to explain what I mean in particular by saying that. So this works like a charm. That's what I want to say. So we have this move time, total time divided by moves to go. This is 30, and plus the increment. And now this very interesting line here. So in case we have increment greater than 0, so literally we do have the increment basically. And if we also have the total time is less than 5 multiplied by increments, so this is some sort of a safety margin again, like, but not exactly the same as this one. So in this case, we only use 75% of the move time, and this value is calculated dynamically, and this allows not to be losing due time. So it would be much better to explain how visually this looks like. So let's say we have a game. So let's say a game like, well, probably, hold on a sec, guys. Maybe I just can show you. Maybe I just, by the way, I've updated my wallpaper and got rid of unnecessary icons on the desktop to just enjoy this WukongJS background. So okay, where is my new folder here? Okay, so I think I just can show you one typical game, just to give you an idea regarding the timing, how it works. So hopefully this would be much more clear in terms of understanding. So let's pick up some where WukongJS won the game. I don't know which one to consider. I just want one where Wukong won with the white pieces. Let's take this one. It's got pretty lots of moves. Yeah, well, let's try this one. Okay, so, and you just notice, you just look here where the timing is. So, well, obviously the first moves are from the opening book. So this is the opening line here, and yeah, castling is the very first move by WukongJS. So now you see, like, if you have a look at the timing, you see like the Wukong is dropping on time. So TSCP always has more time, and by the time the game goes, this difference is getting more and more significant until the very end game basically. So we're still kind of like playing, and okay, takes a little bit of a time, but now it's already almost up to 30 seconds down for WukongJS. Okay, but again, like you see, like TSCP searches 6, WukongJS searches 8, and for such a complicated positions with lots of, okay, what a nice combination. Now you saw like it was already 11 here, so yeah. Okay, takes now piece up here 7, and yeah, I just want to see whether it goes to 5. Well, what happens actually? It goes. It kind of like 5 seconds left, and when 5 seconds left, it doesn't drop on time anymore. That's the core gist of it. Or probably it would, yeah, it would just be winning before that happens. Okay, let's just try to find some game with more moves. Okay, maybe this one. Well, it's a draw. It's not the best ever example. Maybe this one. Okay, this one is lost. Okay, this one is draw. Just want to know more moves. Okay, this one seems to be won. Okay, so let me just quickly check the timing at the very beginning to make sure that, no, it's still got lots of time. Okay, forget the result. Let's try to see just the longer game. Just want to, as far as I'm showing the timing at the moment, this might be making perfect sense, I hope. So let's take probably this one is the deepest one. So let's try this one, and let's try, I don't know which one in particular, closer to the end game. Strangely enough, it's gonna too. I'm a little bit confused by the timing, to be honest. Well, okay. If I just try to make, I'm sorry guys, just I've seen this so many times. Okay, only 173. Yes, not enough time. I don't know. I've seen this so many times during the game itself. To be honest, I have no idea. Like, so maybe we just try to search by place. Okay. Well, not obviously. If I don't find the game now, yeah, still quite pretty lots of time on the clock. Well, okay, I just try to go for Kuman way of explanation as always. So it happens that, let's say TSCP has like 1 minute or 50 seconds left, and WukongJS only has 5 seconds left. And in that case, they're playing like, so TCP plays in its own, in its normal kind of manner, as it always does. And WukongJS starts playing much faster compared to how was playing before reaching this lower margin of 5 seconds. So before those 5 seconds, he's playing kind of, well, it takes, I don't know, like how long does it take? Well, several seconds. Let's say, not, it's different from one move to another. And when it comes to 5 seconds, it starts playing almost instantly. So it goes like almost a bullet mode. But at the same time, you might wonder that it starts searching not that deep as TCP does, but it's not. Still, assuming that this is already the late end game, it still searches a couple of places deeper compared to TSCP. So despite the fact that it starts playing faster, it doesn't really mean that it starts playing weaker, because at the moment when the time is almost up, the position is already it's already clear whether it's gonna win or lose. So if it's gonna win, anyway it's gonna win because it's just better, and that 5 seconds and this bullet style of play is already enough to win the position, at least versus TSCP. And if the position is already lost, in that case, searching deeper won't really help to save it, because if it's already lost, no matter how deep you search, you just lose anyway. So this is a very interesting and nice and handy timing hack proposed by Pedro Castros, implemented in his chess engine Denisa, and I really love this, and I was very happy to incorporate this into WukongJS and to see how in particular it's working, because what I was doing before, well, I didn't really see those losing time, but probably because I was only playing within this 2 minutes plus 1 second, I was only playing versus TSCP, but I wasn't playing, definitely I wasn't playing my own versions in a longer time control, like in blitz, only in bullet. So I was playing like 100 milliseconds per move for each engine to check whether the evaluation has improved or not. So that's what I was doing. By the way, yeah, a little bit of a downside that now if you set the time control less than less than 1 minute increment, it would most likely lose on time, forfeit on time after several moves. Well, with a 500 milliseconds, probably it's not going to be it's not always going to be the truth, but with the time controls lower than 500 milliseconds, it would be forfeiting on time all the time, which is not really that great, but again, like, it's a trade-off, and I really like this behavior. And again, like for tournaments, it's much better to have this sort of a time control here, and also it takes less code to implement. And I just really love this idea of taking just using the formula to calculate the 75% of the time you have. So that's something that I really like. Okay guys, so this is it regarding the updates, and these two updates, this timing update along with the hash move ordering, gave me this around 28 low points stronger engine. Well, again, it's arguable because really more games needed for testings in order to make sure the exact strength. But anyway, finally I have published I've already updated my WukongJS thread on talkchess.com, so hopefully someone would pick up this for testing. Well, unfortunately Gaber Shots is not now available for testing. He's overwhelmed with those chess engines he already has for testing, so not an option at the moment. But anyway, so I hope that, well, at very least he did publish WukongJS in the new engines 2021 thread here on TalkChess as well, so hopefully someone would notice that and test that, and then we'll see what happens, basically how strong it would be from the CCRL perspective when it would be playing not only versus TSCP but versus many engines of about equal strength. And one last update, thanks to Gert Eisenberg for updating Chess Programming Wikipedia page for WukongJS. So as soon as I've updated my evaluation, he added this Texels tuning method to the evaluation, and also some forum posts that I was either participating in or creating on my own has been added. But very nice thing, and I really appreciate Gert for that. So Gert, if you're watching this video, really thank you so much. I appreciate so deeply. So for adding this video on breaking down Texels tuning method to automate the evaluation function, and even more, he has added my kind of like paper where I've described the simplest possible engine agnostic implementation of Texels tuning that I've implemented in Python and was using in order to tune the values for material weights and p-square tables of my WukongJS chess engine. So yeah, like despite the fact that Ronald Friedrich's p-square tables are still at very least 100 elo points stronger compared to my own, but yeah, that's kind of at very least this is my own implementation, and it works as a proof of concept. I've been showing this to couple of experienced developers at TalkChess, and at very least they didn't say that this is some weird crap. So hopefully this can be accepted as Code McKinn's noob's implementation, like the very simplest possible there of this Texels tuning method, which is literally the let me just recall the scientific name for is supervised learning using logistic regression. Yeah, that's how it calls. And yeah, probably one last thing, which most likely would be a teaser for a next video. I'm starting getting very lots of feedbacks from you guys, mostly via email, and on the one hand, some much more experienced chess engine developers writing me, giving nice feedbacks on my work, even thanking me for I'm exposing this knowledge into public. For some reason, that's a little bit strange for me, but that's the fact. Let's say, who did that? Well, Ronald Friedrich did that. Ferdinand did that. Is the author of, oh my god, I forgot the engine's name, Demolito, apparently. Then a couple more guys. I'm sorry, I can't recall the names at the moment, but well, on the other hand, I have really interesting feedbacks from beginner developers. Well, maybe not beginner. Maybe those developers, definitely those developers are not beginners in programming in general, and maybe even more experienced than I am, or most likely more experienced than I am. But what I really like is so this is the topic of for the email I got. So Gottran Lemar, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing his name correctly though. So he has ported the mode generator of WukongJS into TypeScript, which is type JavaScript. That's all I know about that language. I didn't yet manage to run his code on my site. I'm now about to be researching that stuff, but he reports that with exactly the same implementations, he has a huge speed up. So he assumes maybe I have some sort of a bug in my code or something, but I personally assume that that's the matter of TypeScript itself, because it's kind of more, well, it should be more memory efficient. It seems like much more memory efficient. But anyway, it really needs more tests instead of guesses. So I would try to figure out how in particular to run TypeScript on my site, try and run his code and see what's going to happen and what can I optimize in Wukong. So at the very end, before we end this video, I just want to say that how to say, now I'm at the point where I finished the very initial iteration over all the modules of a chess engine. So starting from the very beginning, like how to make a mode generator, and ended up with optimizing search and evaluation and tuning the evaluation. So every time you come to the stage when you think like you're done, you're pushed to the limits and you know what else to do, that's kind of like an entry point for the next deeper iteration. So the next iteration would always be deeper. So the next iteration would be to walk through all the parts of the engine again, starting from the mode generator and ending up with this search and evaluation as usual as in the initial time, and then just trying to understand all the involved stuff in a deeper level. And the deeper you understand, the more insights you might get from there, the more possible optimizations are coming from there. So I don't know, you probably don't really care about this, but you know, like what was happening to me before, I was making a chess engine and then I was dropping that, and then I was making a new one because I had some different ideas and so on. Now I'm at the stage where I'm not interested in creating new engines anymore, because you know, like now I don't need to rewrite the code in order to try some new ideas. So finally, fortunately, at very least, I forgot this English word. So what I reached so far is an ability to have flexible enough code to be updated with the new ideas without the need to rewrite it completely. So that's something I'm a little bit proud of, basically. And another interesting thing, basically, that I really want to share with you guys. Probably you won't be really caring much about that, but anyway. For those of you who's not aware of the fact that I've started YouTube not with this chess programming channel. I've started that with Code McKinn's channel, which became a web scraping related channel, and the content related to teaching people on how to start freelancing in Python in the web scraping niche from scratch for everyone, and how to start make money on that. I'm not advertising that at any point. You just please keep watch for a couple more seconds. I'm not advertising that. On the contrary, I just want to say that I was up with that for quite a bit, for quite a long time, basically. But that was kind of like going outwards. And now with this chess engine development, I feel like it's more coming inwards. And the more I'm coming inwards, the less wishes and desires I have to maintain that channel. And I was doing lots of freelancing back in the day. Then I switched to consultations, to paid consultations regarding how to freelance, how to web scrape and things like that. And I started feeling that I'm sort of tired of that, and I don't really want to kind of push and promote neither freelancing nor web scraping, basically. And I really feel that that channel is now kind of almost dead, because again, like I can't see, I just don't really want to keep maintaining that, not because it's wrong or bad or something, but just because, again, like that goes outwards and what I'm doing now goes inwards. And just to give you an idea regarding how I personally make money, it's not up to the point maybe, but I just want to mention that to make you understand what am I trying to say and what I mean. So I used to work with a single client for a very, very long term period of time, and basically the subject doesn't really matter that much. Well, at the moment I have quite a pretty long-term client that I'm writing web scrapers for, and writing and maintaining web scrapers. That's very dull stuff. I'm really tired of that. Unfortunately, at the moment, I don't have a decent alternative. But the principle always remains the same. And I've just realized that I can't longer promote something that I'm not up with on my own. So just try to understand that in order to promote something, you need to be up with that on your own. If you're not up with that, you just can't promote that, because first of all, no one would believe you, and secondly, and most crucial part is you're just not motivating others if you're not motivating yourself, basically. And on the contrary, a very, very interesting thing regarding this chess programming channel is that when I've stopped this going outwards stuff, so what I mean by saying going outwards, that's kind of like something that has a beginning and has an end. And well, obviously end result is absolutely essential if you want to make some money, because otherwise it's hard to say what you're going to be paid for. But anyway, here in Chess Programming Channel, I'm trying to focus more like on the process rather than the result. Even though the result just passing by, like the elo points, the represented in the strength of a chess engine are growing slightly, yeah. And again, like it's not like those new engines that are coming from nowhere and kickstarting with 3,000 elo points at the very beginning. So you just might wonder, are you so, you just may ask the author, are you really so smart, man, that you came up with a 3,000 chess engine from scratch, and that's the original work, so you're not deriving from any other engine? So that's the most natural question arising, basically. So here, I'm just showing you what's gonna happen if, well, I'm not this, yeah, probably I'm the dumbest of the chess engine developers, but anyway, this is how the process looks like when you're not using some steroids, basically, when you go in the natural way. So when you go in the natural way, it's not really that easy to obtain even 2,000, well, at least in JavaScript. Well, if WukongJS was written in C in the current implementation, just because of C is kind of faster than JavaScript, it would probably be somewhere around 2100s. Now, hopefully it would be around 1800s, maybe even less. So yeah, I can't say that JavaScript is exactly 300 elo points weaker compared to the equivalent, the equal engine written in C programming language. I can't really claim that. It probably depends on some extended circumstances behind, but generally it's absolutely clear that the faster engine would be performing much better, basically. But it's not the point, really. As I was mentioning previously, that it's all the matter of the relative improvements rather than absolute. And with today's really insane technologies on neural networks, it's quite a bit hard to compete for the absolute strength. Well, at least for me, that doesn't make any sense at all. And On the other hand, bearing in mind that I'm really getting lots of feedbacks from you guys emphasizing the didactic part of WukongJS and really thanking me for making this engine so didactic. And when I see your code derived from WukongJS, I'm really happy to see how easily you can get these ideas that are represented in WukongJS. And I really feel satisfied because that's something exact I had in mind basically before creating this sort of work. So I think this is it. So the development progress is going on. I have no idea where exactly it's gonna take me, and WukongJS, no ideas. But what I know really for sure is that I'm not gonna be trying to look like something that I'm not, and I'm not gonna be trying to make WukongJS look like something that it is not, basically. So the most natural flow. Keep it didactic further on, despite the possible future optimizations, and let's see where it takes us, basically. Yeah. So this is it from my side, guys. Most likely the next video would be the comparison of TypeScript and JavaScript version of WukongJS, of Wukong's Mood generator, and probably some possible ways to optimize it. And well, again, like the general direction would be to how to speed up the Mood generator, because now it's really slow as hell. So this is it from my side. Hope to see you in the next videos, guys. Until that time, and take care.